Hey folks, and welcome to Truck King. This is an exciting video because we are about to go off-road in the brand new 2024 Toyota Tacoma TRD off-road. Now I did intend for this to be a really muddy video, but Mother Nature did not cooperate. That's what happens where we live in November. So we're going out in this blizzard and we're going to see how the Tacoma performs off-road in the snow. Let's dive into the off-road numbers, but before we do, let me tell you, we have published a full review on this Tacoma already here on the channel. We went on-road, we talked about drivability, the engine, the interior, all of that stuff. So if you want to hear about that, go watch that video. In this video, we're gonna hyper focus in on off-roading. So now, let's talk about the numbers. This truck we have here today is a TRD off-road double cab with the 6-foot bed. So this is the longest wheelbase you can get on the Tacoma. And yes, it is longer than it was before. For 2024, the wheelbase here is 145.1 inches. Now, all of the other off-road numbers are improved. So ground clearance now comes in at 11 inches on this truck. Approach angle is 32.5 degrees. Departure angle with the hitch installed is 22.2 degrees. And the breakover angle is 24.7 degrees. So even with the longer wheelbase, because we have more ground clearance, even the breakover angle has been improved a little bit. So for 2024, this truck should be better off-road. Now, when it comes to this package, we have TRD off-road. You're getting things like Bilstein shock absorbers with remote reservoirs, a rear locking differential, and an available front disconnecting sway bar. We don't have that on our truck today, but you can get it on this truck to help you with off-road articulation. Alrighty folks, and now here we are off-road in the brand new 2024 Tacoma on a very strange weather day. It was snowing like crazy about 20 minutes ago, and now the sun's trying to crack through and give us some blue skies, so it's been all over the place today. But we got, I don't know, 4 to 6 inches of fresh snow on the ground.
At least, however, it's not done yet, and typically this is lake effect.
Yeah.
Down where Steve lives here, it comes in off Georgian Bay, and it's what they actually call snow squalls. So 1 minute the sky is blue, the next minute you can't see 3 feet in front of your face.
Yeah, it's been interesting and added an extra element to our off-road review today. So I mentioned off the top all of the off-road hardware that's on this truck, but there's also a bunch of off-road software that's here. So we get Toyota's multi-terrain select system. It's only available in 4-wheel drive. You can't use those modes in 2-wheel drive, which frankly I don't really agree with, but anyways. In 4-wheel drive, let's go through them, Dad. You get auto mode, which is nice. You get a dirt mode, you get sand, you get mud, and then this is kind of funny too, you get deep snow. It can't just be regular snow, it has to be deep snow. I don't know if we qualify today, but we've been running it in deep snow mode, in 4-wheel drive, on these sort of sandy, kind of whooped out trails, so nothing crazy hard, but definitely enough to get us a good feel for the truck. So all that being said, yeah, what are you feeling? What's your first impression of this TRD off-road?
Well, let's talk first about the fact that we don't have Leafs here anymore.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, I really appreciate it because I've always said, you know, Leafs get the job done, but they spring back so hard when that box is empty.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, that's the first thing I really notice here today is that we're not dealing with that at all.
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite smooth. And of course, this is just a TRD off-road, not a TRD Pro. And the Pro is the truck you expect to really kind of take care of you off-road, softer suspension-wise. But this truck today, we've been hitting these whoops at speed, and it's been really good. I don't know if you've really felt it bottom out, maybe once or twice, but not aggressively bottom out.
Well, not when I was driving.
Yeah, so I'll agree with you on the suspension. And I'm going to come back to this point again. I have driven the Tundra TRD Pro quite a bit, as have you. It feels like the Tundra, which is a good thing because the Tundra is also excellent at high-speed off-roading, and that's what this feels like to me.
That is exactly one of the things that, you've got lots of great 4x4 trucks that are great at picking through stuff, but there's only a few that are really good at speed, and I think this is going to be one of them.
Yeah, and then, when it comes to the angles, everything's higher now for this generation, and that usually just results in confidence. When you're off-road and you're not scraping, you're not rubbing things, your nose is up out of the dirt, you just end up feeling that much more confident. And once again, that's what I'm feeling here today. Everything just feels nice and tucked up off the ground.
And in the same way, again, I got to mention, I like the new seating position, not just for my legs, but it actually gets my butt up a little higher.
Sure.
So the sight lines in this truck just feel better.
Yeah, I agree. The sight lines are absolutely better in this new generation Tacoma, which is important all the time. Whoops! But very important when you're off-road. The other system we have here is Toyota's Crawl Control. Toyota was actually the first brand to come out with sort of an off-road cruise control. They call it Crawl Control. And it's a good system. I think what I always say about Crawl Control and all these systems is that they're not super fun for me. Like when you're a real off-roader, it's not that great to let the computer drive for you. However, I will fully admit that Crawl Control can do things that I can't. It's straight up smarter than me. The ECU can monitor wheel slip, and when one wheel slips, it can send power to the other wheel that needs it. It can just do things that you can't do as the driver. So in that way, I do think these systems have some value.
Yeah, I got nothing more to say other than it's smarter than you.
So, Dad, the exciting thing I think about the new Tacoma lineup is the new TRD Pro and the Trail Hunter. Those are the top dog off-road trucks. Those ones are going to be hybrid only, so they're not actually going to launch until spring of 2024, so we have some time to wait for them. But you know what? The TRD off-road, I love getting in trucks like this because this is the affordable off-roader in the lineup. It's not going to have the crazy sky-high price that we know those trucks are going to have. So I always kind of look at these trucks as this is truly for the off-road enthusiast who is usually on a budget but still wants something really competent and capable, and Toyota offers you that. And Toyota offers the TRD off-road as a base truck, and then they have the off-road plus, and then they have an off-road premium package. So you can get this truck also with leather and the big screen and all of those features. But as we have it here today, this feels like an honest-to-goodness budget off-roader. I mean budget, I get it, it's still $50,000 truck, but these days that actually feels kind of affordable. So I like the way that this is set in the lineup.
So just to add to what Steve was saying, this off-road has a rear locker. The TRD Pro only has a rear locker as well, including upgraded suspension, shocks, etc. However, so you're getting, at least 80% of the capability of the Pro at a lower price. And honestly, for what most of us do, this is more than enough. Frankly, a rear locker is pretty much all you ever really need to get you out of trouble, unless you're truly, truly sunk, in which case, you're probably better off with a membership to the Auto Club.
Yeah, and with all that being said, we might as well throw up all the prices for you folks right now so you can see what the truck costs in the US and in Canada.
We've already talked about this new twin turbo, and it has to be mentioned. I mean, we liked what it was like on the on-road when we were doing this yesterday, but of course now we're in the snow and we're turning a lot more weight in terms of trying to get everything moving here, and it's still working really, really well. I don't feel any significant lag. I'm getting the power when I need it, and we've got a low range. We haven't used it, haven't wanted to use it.
Yeah, it hasn't felt necessary at all.
No, so at that point, I'd have to say, this is doing a good job. I mean, for that matter, with the snow mode in this setup here, it's also modulating the inputs so that I'm actually getting a much smoother acceleration off the line. So that just tells me that it's got enough power that it can afford to cut power in that particular mode.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm a pretty big fan of this new power plant so far. It seems to offer all the low end you want, and like you said, none of that lag that you're always worried about with a small turbo.
And to reiterate what we had said before, which was the old motor was always focused on fuel economy. And they got a lot of grief, Toyota that is, for not having enough power. So, okay, they've fixed that now. So you're not going to get any better fuel economy with this new engine, but you are going to get significantly more power.
Absolutely. And then what's even more exciting is we still have the hybrid to come, which is going to add a bunch more horsepower and torque. That thing should really be a monster.
That'll be interesting to see what that's about.
Well, folks, we are coming to the end of this video. Now, for 2024, I think the Tacoma is straight up better off-road, and that's important because this truck is known for its off-road ability. So it was absolutely crucial that Toyota made sure that this new generation was still good. And yeah, out here in the snow today, it performed pretty well. So yeah, that's it for this one. Now, of course, I need to hear from you, so why don't you go below into the comments, let me know what you think of this TRD off-road. Of course, while you're down there, don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe, hit join to become a member of Truck King, and then come right back here to the channel to see what we are testing next.
Steve, I just found this. Did this come off the truck?
Well, if it did come off the truck, it was when you were driving, not me.
Oh no, thank God. It's a piece of fascia.
Okay, good news. Okay, Toyota, don't worry, Toyota. We're good. See you guys.